Without a doubt, my number one productivity problem is me. I could be in a dark room, no distractions, I'm gonna distract myself. And so I bring so much empathy as a coach to people who feel like my productivity problem isn't out there, it's actually up here. And as a coach and as a community, I love to see when we can support somebody through a breakthrough of being able to know that they can finally get out of their own way and step into their greatness, step into the best results that they can get for their life. There's not really a moment that you decide, oh, I'm gonna be a productivity coach. But for me, it was a journey, decades-long journey of being my own worst enemy. Knowing for a fact how much I could do and how much I was capable of, but being a slave to procrastination, self-distraction, and I am just absolutely my own worst productivity enemy. And so when I broke through that myself, it was such a huge relief. And I started mentoring my employees. I started mentoring other people. And that became the most exciting part of my life, was mentoring people and seeing the light bulb come on and almost freeing them from the chains of procrastination and letting them experience and step into 100% of what they can do. For me, that's my life's mission. So I've had the opportunity to work at high levels in government, in finance, and in technology. And the funny thing about working in all three of those industries is that they're all equally inefficient. I mean, the workflow that we work with is absolutely outdated and yet piled on with so much new technology. So we're still doing the old workflow, but with all these new distractions and new technologies, and worst of all, a new expectation that we're supposed to work 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week. You know, the difficult part for me when I was piecing together my own productivity system was, it was almost like people give you a dumpster full of bicycle parts and say, here, go make a bicycle. And for me, it took me a decade or more to take these pieces and put them together and figure out what didn't work and figure out what did work. And the vision behind Lifehack Bootcamp is to take those decades of trial and error and condense it down into a bootcamp that can do that in a matter of weeks. And so the vision here is a person can come to Lifehack Bootcamp and do effectively a decade's worth of productivity work in their life in a matter of weeks. People tend to think that this work is like a fixed object, that once we fix the productivity problem, we can just take it and put it on a shelf. But the reality is you're constantly changing, right? What worked for you last year is not necessarily going to work for you this year. And as you start soaring from 5, 10, 15,000 feet, and you keep soaring at a higher and higher level, the things that you built before are not going to work for your new life. And so we get a chance at Lifehack Bootcamp, not just to support you through however many weeks you're in the bootcamp, but we have a community that continually supports each other and meets every single month, and we support each other through those different growth phases, me included. So it's so crucial to be able to know when you join the bootcamp that you're not just taking content and fixing it and putting it away, but that it's there for you year after year. So for those of you looking to get started right away, I have 3 simple pieces of advice. 1, you absolutely have to turn off the distractions. Distractions are killing us, and some type of distraction is getting us off of our workflow once every 18 seconds. So we need to turn off the distractions so we can get back to focus. 2nd, I know it feels good to work in those long chunks of time, but studies actually show that if we chunk up our time into smaller blocks, we actually get more done. And 3rd, there's this thing that we talk about, work-life balance. It doesn't exist, and we sort of know it, right? Instead of work-life balance, I give you permission to be extreme. When you're at work, be extremely at work. Kick ass. When you're at home, be extremely with your kids. Be extremely with your friends and family and the people you love. When you're on vacation, be extremely on vacation. So let's replace this false idea of work-life balance with being extreme and being totally present in the things that are happening in our life.